Hey, this is Lane Lovegrove, and you're watching Snackin and Yakkin with Big Ben Kennedy. Let's get our munch on. Let's get our drink on. Hit it.
Yes, sir.
There's the energy right there. We got
yes,
that.
sir. Here's Lane Lovegrove. We're laughing because Hit It is one of my favorite intros thus far. No offense to everybody else. Hit It. Like, bam, like Stray Cat style. Anyway, but this is Lane Lovegrove. Lane Lovegrove is, I mean, gosh, just in what I've discovered since we've been sitting here waiting to roll, we should have had the camera started or the shit running 15 minutes ago. But he is an actor in town. He is a comedian. He is an author. Just everything. Does a little bit of everything. And that's one of the things that I told you I had to have you on this show because with many people here, I just respect the hustle. As somebody who loves to do it, I love when other people are doing it. And you guys, this scene is amazing.
Yes.
And I worked with you. Well, not worked with you. We did open mics together at...
Hey, that's work.
Well, that's true.
It's called
that's
putting
true.
in the work.
That's true. We did open mics together at Wits End.
Yes.
And then maybe one other place, but I can't remember. It might have been Odyssey Bottle, or it might have been one of those other ones.
Yeah, just
the
one of
comic
those random
ones.
Yeah,
like
one of those random
one of
ones
those
that
Cedar
pops up.
Creeks or something.
Yeah.
But I do remember meeting you, talking with you at there. And then we sit here today and find out that you and my wife have known each other in passing since you were teenagers.
Yes.
Well, roughly. And so, and you know all the same people.
Yep.
So basically, sweetie, you want to switch with me? You want to just do this show? You guys,
And
what am I going to say?
Trip down memory lane.
Right, exactly.
Back
Just
to
you guys
Charleston,
banter-
circa 1990.
you guys banter back and forth, and I'll just sit over there and eat my breakfast. No, I'm just teasing.
Yeah.
It's waiting for me after this. But anyway, so I'm happy to have you here, man.
Thanks.
So
Happy to be here.
What is going on with you right now? Like, what's your current passion?
My current passion, my thing is I am a game show host for the Epic Game Show Experience on Meeting Street downtown. So that's a major plug for Jason and for Hunter, my guys I work with.
Absolutely.
There. Yes.
And do you have any social media or anything I can put on the bottom of the screen?
Yeah. So my social media is my Lane Lovegrove is my Instagram. CharlestonGameshow.com is the site for that place. Yes. And you can book there and it's great. And so what it is exactly, real quick, what I'm doing now, what my occupation is right now, other than all the things you mentioned, is that we do an hour-long live-action game show event where you come in, we play Price is Right, Family Feud, Minute to Win It, and it is just very intensive. It's right for groups of families and friends and everything. We have an adults-only game show that's for the grown and sexy in the back room for like bachelor parties, bachelorette parties.
Got you.
It is just a ton of fun, and that's what I do. That's my main thing. My occupation, and then also just like the acting, I do occasionally commercials sometimes.
I've seen that on your Facebook and everything.
Yeah.
We're friends on Facebook.
Yep.
And I'd seen the behind the scenes and the Book of Faces. I've seen the monitor shots and all the things that you get from the behind the scenes.
Yep.
And that's when I was like, oh man, gotta have you. But the game show thing, are you is it on tonight?
Yeah, actually, I'm gonna be doing that after we get done here at some point. I pretty much work the weekends, and so what you do is you come in, you book it, you play the show with your friends, your family, your coworkers. We do a lot of corporate events. Yeah, you come in, it's an hour long, it's an intense hour long of just game show hosting and fun. And it's like, hey, welcome to the Epic Game Show Experience. I'm your host, Lane Lovegrove. Yeah, I got the music cracked. Yeah, I got the game show music
which
cracked
was like
up.
Me doing the Family Feud theme, but not quite. I don't know if you caught that. It was good.
Yeah.
I didn't go.
Sometimes on my way to work, I'll crank that in my car and I'll listen to like 12 hours of game show theme songs.
Now, a long time ago, in another lifetime, I used to do karaoke jock for Golden Productions back in Maryland. Neil, great guy, and he had a Family Feud type thing that we did at like company parties, and I loved it, but it never seemed to work correctly. It was always so glitchy and the last time I had done it, I was at Camden Yards. I did a party on the club level, and it glitched out, and we were just doing it. So then we just started making up this like trivia game.
Okay.
And so basically I kind of said, look, I know a lot of useless things and you can fact check me if you want. This was didn't have smartphones, you just had phones. I said, you can fact check me if you want after the fact and email me at this email address. But if I tell you the answer, it is 100% correct. I said, I've won bar trivia nights routinely. I said, so you want to play my trivia? And they were like, yeah. And I just I turned around and just took that night over and made it something great. And then they were all partying afterwards, and I walked out, and I got to stand there and look at Camden Yards, which was my hometown team, and I got to look at the whole ball field. I was the only person, and it was just like, do I hop this thing and run the bases? Because when am I ever going to have the opportunity? Do I get arrested? Do I get tackled? And I chickened out.
Oh, man.
Should have done it.
Yeah.
I don't even know if anybody would have even stopped. But all I could think was, man, if they have a game tomorrow, which I think they do, and I do anything to this field, they are going to arrest me.
Yeah.
You know.
Now, there's probably an alternate reality version of you with like a variant timeline where you did do that, and you're probably president now. That timeline.
You know what?
Yeah. So thank God, because who would want you as president?
Right?
I'm sorry, that's terrible.
No, they didn't like the last Kennedy. Why would they like me?
Yeah.
No, the public liked the last Kennedy. Somebody else didn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, since I have a tickle in my throat, perfect time to introduce your snack.
Hi, this is...
Oh, man. The one, the only, Arizona, half and half.
Arnold Palmer.
Arnold Palmer.
Half iced tea, half lemonade. This is the shit, man.
I have
love
never
this.
seen these not in a tall boy.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
So when I saw this was at Walmart, not a sponsor.
Nope. They can do their own.
It was a 12-pack of just like,
Yeah.
regular old 12-ounce or just shy cans.
Yeah.
And I said, oh my goodness, like we have to get it.
I usually get the big jug to have in my fridge at home because I used to make my own tea, then I got lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw the jug,
Yeah.
and I thought, do I want to get cups and ice? And
Yeah.
I'm like,
no, these are like single serving size. They're just
they're
like, hey.
so nice, right?
Yeah.
And now the tickle in my throat. See, I got choked up thinking about Camden. That's bullshit. I didn't get choked up thinking about Camden Yards, even though I miss home very much.
You got choked up about being president eventually in all
Yeah, that's what it
reality.
is. You told me about being president, and immediately I was nervous,
Yeah.
lump in my throat. God, the responsibility.
Yeah.
No.
I'll do that. I'll think about like choices that you make in life instead of sitting there and ruminating on, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. I think, okay, no, I did the thing, and in some reality somewhere else, everything is worse.
Were you a fan of Community?
Yeah, I do.
Dude,
Yeah, the alternate timeline. Yeah.
Abed with, Abed with those freaking alternate timelines,
Yeah.
man. When they did that 6-sided die,
Yeah.
did the 6 timelines in that episode. It's no wonder Rick and Morty exist. If
You're
you
right.
ever watched that show
Yeah,
for a minute,
Dan Harmon is like a weird,
very weird
genius,
guy.
savant, kind of like freakoid guy.
Yeah, he thinks of things that we don't think of.
You know, yeah.
And your snack with these
Yes.
Arnold Palmers
Yes.
is Fritos
Yes.
brand flavored twist,
So-
honey barbecue.
Yeah, so the little bit of a backstory about that is like years ago when those first came out, I was in college. I was
You want to
going,
give it the whiff? I'm
yeah.
gonna give it the whiff.
Mm.
There's something about us. I didn't want to stick my nose over your food.
Smells like creativity and also regret.
So you were saying, I'm
yeah,
sorry,
so
pointing out to you.
back when I was in college when those things first came out, we were like, hey, we need something that's going to be nourishing and something that's going to be, placating while we game and video game and other stuff. And so those come out, and with that and the Mountain Dew was like, okay, this is how we're going to live our lives and barely get by and survive.
That bowl is all yours, friend.
Thanks, man. Thanks, dude. And so these pair really well with Mountain Dews. And but I'm older now, and I drink less Mountain Dew and more Arnold Palmer iced tea.
Never been a Mountain Dew guy. I'm like kind of caffeine sensitive.
Yeah.
Don't know why. Just always have been. Never was a coffee drinker. The couple of times that I had it made me very sick. Made me very jittery and like here. Go ahead. Made me jittery and like pass out almost.
Yeah.
Or, just I didn't like it.
I don't want to chew into your microphone. Like,
No.
crunch,
I
crunch.
noise gate.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
I can noise gate it out. Yeah, you're fine.
I'll lean into it then.
Yeah, man. Enjoy yourself.
Cool.
Anything that gets caught over the mic, any crunches that get caught, because like I was eating Triscuits on the last episode, and I deliberately crunched them because I told myself I was going to eat 6 Triscuits and let Liam Baker talk.
Okay.
He proceeded not to.
Yeah.
So it's just me eating in silence, relative silence, for about 40 seconds,
I like
almost
Liam
a
Baker.
minute. He was a nutball, dude.
Yeah.
But we had a blast. We had a genuine blast.
Yeah.
So,
Do you know why Triscuits are called Triscuits?
no, actually, I
Okay.
mean, full of useless trivia, but not that one.
So, way back when electricity was brand new and everyone was like, ooh, electricity, it's not really demons, it's actually a science. We'll put it in our houses, we'll make things out of electricity. And so I don't remember the name of the company that started it beforehand, like whatever Nabisco ended up buying to own the rights to Triscuit. But they were calling them the electric biscuit because it was the first company to make their biscuits with electricity. And electric biscuit turned into Triscuit because people like to shorten things. That kind of got me in the
That's
brain.
neat.
Yes. So
and now I'll never forget it because it's another thing I need to keep in my brain.
Right, the electric. No, it's out of my brain into your brain. I'm sharing this with you.
And then you'll forget.
Here's the burden of knowledge.
Then I'll come to one of your game shows and I'll be like, hey man, did you know? Like 5 years from now.
The electric biscuit.
The electric biscuit. Like, I did not know that. And now it's yours. And then you tell it. We keep passing it back and forth.
And it could be true. It could be made up. I don't know. But it is true.
No, I would imagine it'd be true. That's really cool. We learned in the 6th grade, triskaidekaphobia was the fear of the number 13. The superstition surrounding 13. Right. So triskaidekaphobia, and we asked the gym teacher. The gym teacher was like in our, 6th grade class for some reason, and he walked in, and Miss Riley said, Mr. So-and-so, do you know what triskaidekaphobia is? And we all had just learned it. And he goes, it's a fear of those little wheat crackers, right? And we howled so loud. We thought that was the funniest thing ever. And we couldn't tell if he genuinely believed it or if he, was messing with us. But, he was also kind of silly.
Yeah.
Like he was kind of doofy. Most gym teachers, I think, in my experience, some of them were pretty bright, but most of them were kind of like those who can't teach gym kind of old adage.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was funny. Trisket, and every time I think of a Trisket, I think of fear of Triscuits. It being Trisket, and that's so stupid, but it's true.
Yeah.
That's what I think of. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, that's the perfect association between the fear of electric biscuits and I guess your gym teachers. I don't know. It's a weird segue.
The game show thing, when I was a kid, I was obsessed with The Price is Right. I've seen the live touring one.
Yeah.
I always wanted to go on the game show. I'm not so much wanting to go on it with Drew. I was a Bob Barker fan through and through.
Yeah.
But I used to turn my big wheel upside down.
Okay.
And I labeled all the prizes the whole way around, and the kids would get a spin, and they'd get little prizes, which if I was, rolling in it, I could do piece of candy. Yeah. But sometimes it was just a rock, it was this rock. And I would do it I would set it up. I was like Roddy. I was like, this rock here is an amazing shiny rock. It's heavier than most rocks, kind of sell it. And the kids all loved it, man. They would spin that wheel.
All I can think about is Charlie Brown getting a rock for Halloween. I got a rock.
I got a rock. We did talk about Charlie Brown the other day. We got a guy at my work, and he's bald. And my partner said, he has the roundest head I've ever seen. And I was busting out laughing, and I go, Charlie Brown? He goes, yes, Charlie Brown. He lost his mind. And now it's I haven't seen him since he said that because he wasn't on shift. And now I'm going to see this poor kid. Yeah. And I'm going to crack up laughing. He's going to be like, what's up, man? What's so funny? I'm like, nothing. I'm just thinking of something.
Yeah. And all you got to get him to say is good grief. And you're like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, do me a favor. Say good grief.
Yeah. Oh,
do me a favor. Kick this football right now. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you, we have matching grays.
Yes.
And we, you knew her, and so I'm saying roughly you're my age.
Yeah, I'm 49. I turned 49 last month.
There we go. Yep. So then we, I have very few. I think the ratio has been roughly everybody younger than me, with the exception of 2 have been older, and now you're the third. Well, 4. I think only 4 people have been older than me. It's pretty neat. I like seeing the range.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this a couple months ago in our comedy society, in our comedy scene, and there really are a lot of people in their 20s to 30s, and then you got people who are obviously older who are hanging out, like Apples and I. I've known Apples and I know Apples. You and Apples are very, good friends.
Well, I've known him. He was the second person I met when I came to town. When I got back into comedy in this town. Yeah.
He and I know each other from being on Vice Principals when that was filming here.
He did tell me that. Yeah.
And we were both teachers. So I was a professional extra and background actor for years, from 2013 to pretty much the pandemic. So about 7 years there. And I did most of my income came from doing background work, which is not something people like to brag about, because you're not supposed to, because it's the ugly stepchild of the film industry. It's the bottom rung. It's oh, he's a background actor, and he has an IMDb of all of his background roles, which you're not supposed to do, but I didn't know that. Now I can't get them off my IMDb. So all these things I did when I first started, they're on there that I'll never see the light of day. But I know him from being a teacher on Vice Principals with a bunch of other people, and what we'd do every time there'd be a scene where there'd be the principal actors who were teachers and the people that were around them who were teachers who didn't say anything. We were the ones that didn't say anything. And so we got to see Walton Goggins up close. He's a great guy, a great actor. We got to see, Danny McBride would talk to us sometimes and just kind of crack jokes, and we'd be hanging out. We got to see all the people that made up that show and be part of that show. And the best thing about it was I got an average of about 40 hours a week of work.
That's so cool.
Just, hey, I'm showing up on set to work on a TV show. Really? Yeah. And some people that's kind of cool because it's like, run into people like that every day that do that kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, you were getting paid?
Oh yeah.
The scale, the 200 or whatever a day or whatever.
So you have the option of getting SAG scale, which is Screen Actors Guild.
Right.
Which I am now SAG eligible, so I can work for that and become a SAG member.
So
eventually.
They give you a waiver to do it.
Yep. And then you do the other thing, which is just non-union, which is what most of they do because union jobs are more expensive. They have to have a higher budget to pay out more. So a lot of background work is non-union, and we would just show up. But there'd be 90% of the show was done on a school, and we actually were in what's the school over there on Ashley Phosphate? I can't remember the name of the school.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's the one over there in Ashley Phosphate across from. Well, it's just over there. Yeah, it's maybe Stall. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe Stall.
Yeah,
Stall sounds right.
Yeah, we'll say Stall. It'll be wrong, but we'll say it
no,
anyway.
I bet you're right.
Yeah, and so we were there, and they would have the scenes filmed, and we would show up, and we'd be teachers. And so you show up like at 8:00 in the morning, and you get done like 10:00 at night, and you get this long ass day, and you get paid overtime, and then you just keep working it. And we would do that, 5 days a week because they wouldn't shoot on Saturdays and Sundays. And so I go do a short film on the weekend or something like that. And
very cool.
Yeah, and so I've done most of the Charleston projects I've done. I haven't done Outer Banks because I'm trying to do more speaking roles and more what they call like primary roles and more like
right.
Like either under 5, which is the role you have when you are just like the guy who walks in and says, "Hey, can I pour your coffee for you?" Or,
right, exactly.
So you get those kind of co-starring roles.
Because featured extra means you were on the screen,
right?
Which I did in the past.
Yeah. What would you do? What was yours?
Well, I was an extra in Major League 2.
Mm-hmm.
I was an extra in The Replacements.
Yeah.
I was an extra on The Wire.
Yeah.
And then I was a construction foreman. That was a feature extra on The Wire. And then I was the star of a Hanes Go Tagless ad.
Cool.
Yeah,
very
that was
cool.
Fun. Yeah.
Did you get residuals for the Hanes ad?
I didn't.
Yeah.
It was for their website for gotagless.com.
Yeah.
So it was just one shot, and it played. It was called a tantalizing tale of taggravation or something, and it's me getting pissed off at my tag for 40 seconds until eventually I rip my undershirt from out of my button-down shirt. I fall out of my cubicle, and then 2 of my coworkers, they look over the cubicle at me. I'm laying on the ground like, and it was really funny. It was 5.5 hours of filming.
Yeah.
I couldn't pick my arms up at the end of that day.
Yeah.
It was terrible. But I mean, like, I enjoyed it. I was so focused on the comedy and then the acting stuff. I did a commercial for Blue Wireless as well. So I just did little things like that. And
exactly.
I wanted to be an actor. I was in school play since kindergarten.
Right.
But I found that I like the stage a lot. So if I were ever to go into acting again, I would want to do stage acting. The hurry up and wait, it wasn't my favorite thing.
Yeah.
And the do it again wasn't my favorite thing about TV and film.
Absolutely. That's the one downside is that you spend a lot of time not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
So if your object in life is to have a job where you get paid to sit around and talk to people, then being background extra is fine. Great. Go do it. They're doing it for Outer Banks. But if you want to not do that and you want to level up, then there's certain like steps you can follow to go from I want to be this kind of actor to being that kind of an actor. And
gotcha.
Yeah, and a lot of things have kind of gotten in my way, and mostly self-sabotaging stuff because I'm very hyper aware of like who I am as a person, what my shortfallings are, and everything. And so, really, like your mentality and how you view, your work and everything, your work ethic, that's all really important for being successful in anything in life.
Mm-hmm.
But so you just have to like put in the hours and figure out actually a plan. And so, having mentors is really important. And I have a couple mentors that have really helped me level up in ways, and one of them is James Dumont. who occasionally has classes here over at Arc Studios, which is over there in Soda Mall.
Okay.
And James Dumont has been in everything. He has been in just like every great show. He had Stranger Things. He's been in Grey's Anatomy. He was on the Righteous Gemstones. He was, I think he was Chad. He's on that show. He's just been doing.
Chad was the guy who got caught naked with the thing.
Yeah, he was Chad.
So we got to see his ding dong for like the whole first season.
Yes, that's James Dumont.
Because it was the blackmail tape.
Yeah,
and it kept showing it. And it's like, look, man, we got it. We seen his penis now. Come on, everybody, and move on.
And it's great because the stripper he was with the tig old bitties as Suzanne Marie Danger. She was a friend of mine. She's great too. I've known her forever, and she's awesome. She's out of North Carolina.
Pay her my compliments, please.
Yeah,
it was a great set.
Yeah,
honey, you know. I mean,
no, you would appreciate him too. She really is a professional.
It was good. It was good. No, but what's funny is Carrie will tell you every time I see boobs on the screen, what do I say? I say that, or I go boobies. Like I get so excited, and I even do it for the backdrops that are on our Roku. Like there's like art. It's like really truly like paintings and like really like art. And it'll just be like a woman holding a baby and the breast is out, and I just go boobies. Like I'm in my living room like a weirdo, but I'm always a fan of them, and I'll always be a fan of them.
Of course,
yes.
You have to celebrate the free nipple.
Free the nipple.
Free the nipple. Celebrate, yeah. And some other mentors, William Mark McCullough, who's out of Savannah, and he's been in everything too. He's a great guy. He's real down to earth. He's real approachable. He'll teach classes on how to like level up your acting career, and he was most recently in Captain America: Brave New World with Anthony Mackie. Yeah, he's one of the. That
was out of Atlanta and North Carolina, right?
Yep, and I'm pretty sure that's all it was. I mean, I don't know exactly where the filming locations were, but they were definitely Southern. But he's great because he's been doing things forever too, and he's certainly a friend. James is a friend. They will help you if you want to level up your acting career. Follow their advice.
Excellent.
Yeah, so
like I
those
said,
guys.
Don't know if I'd ever go back to it, but Apple's tried to get me in with Delaquist.
Yeah.
And he was like, I think you'd really have a lot of fun.
Yeah, Tone is awesome.
But he said you have to be available.
Yep.
And unfortunately, I'm a paramedic.
Yeah.
And I'm not always available.
Yeah.
And he was like, if you tell her no twice, that's it. She'll never talk to you, never call you again, and it's the way the business goes.
Absolutely.
Are you available? Be available. You got it. So one day maybe.
Yeah.
But I have gotten a chance to work the medic side.
Yes.
So I got to work on sets. Typically I work the stunt.
Yeah.
So whatever big scary stunt they're doing.
Right.
And they call in medics. I've been fortunate enough to be on 3 different productions.
Yeah.
The 2 sets were not that big a deal, but the one that is my favorite to this day was I got to work a car flip at Charlestown Landing for Mr. Mercedes.
Yep, I remember that.
Oh, so
that was an accident. They did that wrong, and the car flip almost came off the rails.
Yeah, they were pulling the cable.
Right.
And so
sorry, Mr. Mercedes, for spilling the tea on that, but yeah.
So
sorry, Jack.
We were there in the woods. Well, not even the woods. They used the entrance lanes. So we shot it on the exit lane of Charlestown Landing, and we were on the entrance lane in the thing. So they have the slides,
right?
And then they pulled the thing. It hit the camera that was on the gliding, on the wire.
Yeah.
So one take was completely useless.
Yeah.
And then the whole windshield came out.
Yeah.
So they replaced it with the windshield shattered. They knew they had to do it again. They replaced the windshield real quick. So in the actual take, the whole windshield comes out, which is really funny.
Yeah.
Because they typically don't do that,
right.
But they just put the windshield in with like quick set. But a lot of hurry up and wait, like I said. They had rain running from the, they're spraying from up in the cherry picker.
They had that big square thing with the pipes on it that would make rain come down.
Yep.
Sorry.
And so we had a blast, but that was my favorite. And the production crew was really cool. The assistant director and all them, they airdropped me footage from the monitors behind the director's head, and they were just like, open up your airdrop. And I mean, we got to sit there and chill out and eat food together. Yeah. So in the hurry up and wait, I found out I really like the technical side of things more than the other side of the camera. So I could see myself doing PA work or see myself doing set medic work a lot more often than acting anymore.
Yeah.
But the one guy who did it, he has a lock on this area. He works all the things. So basically, if you're in with him, he'll pull you on a production here or there.
For the stunt work?
Yeah, for being a medic.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so we had a blast. But yeah, I loved it. And then to see the actual episode
Yeah,
that it was in
yeah.
is really cool when you see the finished product.
So the neat thing about Mr. Mercedes is I was Robert Stanton's stand-in on Mr. Mercedes.
Oh,
Who
cool.
was Roby, the boss.
Mhm.
So I was his stand-in. So I was there, and that's why I know about the thing with the stunt, how
Yeah.
it went wrong. And so I worked a lot of Mr. Mercedes, and one of my crowning achievements for Mr. Mercedes as being a stand-in was there's a scene where Roby or Robbie, whatever his name was, yeah, Roby, and Brady Hartsfield got to go to this meeting where he's going to be interviewed to be a potential manager at the Circuit City. And he
the
has
store over in Goose Creek.
Right,
They made
yeah,
the green,
exactly, yeah.
the green electronics store.
Yeah. And so he had to he had this fantasy. I don't know if you were there for this or not. They have this fantasy sequence where he murders everybody in the restaurant, and one of the people he murders is Stephen King, who has this cameo.
It was at Ryan's.
Yep, the
over
closed
here,
on
but I
Ryan's.
was not
Yeah.
there. One of our friends was an extra in
Yep.
that scene. Patrick Wilson.
Yeah. Where
Yeah.
they have, everyone has to be dead in the restaurant.
Yeah.
And there's a great scene where he is about to stab Roby in the head. And so every time they had to do it, they had to do a stunt sequence for him that had me go and do it first. And they practice on me and how we would do this. And so we had to pretend he was going to stab me in the head with a fake knife. And then they'd have, Robert come in and do the scene. And Stephen King was there. And I'm in proximity to my hero, my childhood hero. And
Yep.
I'm thinking, like, don't freak out. Like, don't freak out. It's cool. He's a professional. You're a professional. You're at work. Don't freak out.
Right.
And that's my favorite thing I've ever done.
Did you get a chance to talk to him?
Not really, because you're not really talking to him. You're just kind of like,
Right.
yeah, he's watching the monitor. I'm watching the monitor, and everyone's just like, everyone's treating him like royalty because he is the king.
Yeah, the Stephen King.
Exactly, yeah. But he, it was great, and you can't, because I talked to Peter Weller, RoboCop.
Yeah.
He directed an episode on season 3, and we were back at Crafty, which for those of you who don't know what Crafty is, it's snacks.
Craft
Snacks on
services.
set. Yep. And so I'm back there, and he's come back to Crafty, and we're just kind of standing there, and I'm like, oh shit, this is RoboCop. This is
Mhm.
Naked Lunch, Peter Weller, and I'm like, all right, don't freak out. And he starts asking me about the snacks. And I'm like, oh, yeah, well, they got these golden flake potato chips here, and we have a really nice professional conversation with RoboCop, my
Yeah.
childhood hero,
Yeah.
yeah, about snacks. And he was directing an episode, and it was a lot of fun.
Revisit RoboCop, and it'd creep you out the fact
Oh, yeah.
that Red Foreman is such a creepy freaking bad guy.
I know.
He
He gets melted, right?
freaking pulling the
Yeah.
pin out of the grenade with his tongue.
Yeah.
Like, he was so creepy, and then you're like, wait a second, that's like Dad.
Yeah, that's like a foot up your
That's
ass.
like Dad. He's Dad. He's not this
That's-
guy. He's Dad.
That's red.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Red.
Yeah.
My foot, your ass.
Dumbass.
Oh, dumbass.
Yeah.
No, but when you revisit that, you feel that. But you said something, and I was like, oh my
Say a lot of
gosh.
things.
No. It's fine. But you were talking about the stand-in thing, and then
Yeah.
weren't supposed to sneak a picture, but somebody we know who was on there snuck a picture, so we got to see Stephen King with all the blood going down the
Yeah.
side and stuff. When I was an extra on The Replacements, and I think I mentioned this in a previous episode.
I love that movie.
I got a chance to say hi to Keanu in passing.
Yeah.
Got a chance to actually. Orlando Jones was the one who brought the PA over to give me the card for the extra work. So they were practicing my little high school football field at Glen Burnie High School. So they were practicing and all, and I walked down there, and I was just wanted to check it out, and they were joking around with me, the guys on the field, like, oh man, here comes our ringer boys and all that stuff. So I was like, hey, I said, put me in a suit. I'll show you how it's done. They went, oh, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Just messing around with them. It's Faison Love and all them. Just giving me shit.
Yeah.
So I just sat there
It's a
and just
great
watched
cast.
them. And I walked over to the side, and Orlando Jones was standing there near the PA. And I said, hey, are they still casting anything for this? And he said, hold on one second. And he ran over and he grabbed her, and she said, call this number. And so I got a chance to be on there. It was really fun. And much like The Wire, it's like the whole part of eat when they tell you to eat. Like, they had a food truck
Yeah.
that was like, had a lot of stuff. And they're like, well, why don't you go eat lunch? And it's like, I just got here. I had breakfast on the way over.
Mm-hmm.
I got to claim I ate breakfast with John Favreau, because like I was sitting next to him.
Yeah. He
Like,
was
kind of within,
Yeah.
but
he was great as the psychotic guy.
he was really fun. But yeah, so Orlando Jones was the one I got a chance to talk to, and I was within here to maybe my wife away from Gene Hackman.
Wow.
And I wanted so bad just to even look at him and just, nod. Like,
Right.
I kept looking away. I couldn't look at the guy.
They were about eye contact. You can't break their eye contact.
No, I mean, not even filming. They're in between takes.
Yeah.
He's reading his sides. He's, his assistant's fanning him because it was like August.
Right.
At freaking PSI Net at the time. Now it's M&T Bank Stadium, Raven Stadium. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, oh man, like, I was like, why am I so weird like this? And I'm thinking, is it, what is it? And then 2 years later, I come to the realization that he was Lex Luthor.
Oh, okay.
And I, as a child, was incredibly, like, afraid of him. Like he hurt Superman, like.
That's weird.
My brain just was like, eh. And it's weird what sticks with you.
Right.
Because I was such a fan of that movie. And I get to see the guy in the flesh. And I'm just like, I don't trust him. And I wouldn't look at him. Like, I looked at him like when he was like back turned. I was like, wow, that's Gene Hackman. And then he would start to turn and I'd be like this. But yeah, he was nice. It was a nice part to be a part of. Jon Favreau and freaking Rhys Ifans were the funniest duo. When they had to do that scene where he beat the shit out of him after that kick.
Yeah.
I watched it time and time again. They shot so many different things. I mean, everything you could think of. He punched him in the head. He tackled him. He put him on the ground and started humping him. Like, they did so many takes of that thing that I was like, I have to see this movie to find out what they actually used, because we laughed every single time. It was so great. And he's naturally, I mean, Jon Favreau, naturally incredibly funny.
Yeah.
That's what blew my mind, because we didn't really know him to be, I mean, PCU, but we didn't know him to be truly, truly funny.
Right, and he needed swingers, and that's not really funny either, because that's more Vince Vaughn being funny. But
right.
But Jon Favreau is one of those like weird comedic geniuses that can do anything.
Yes.
And when he puts his mind to it, it's brilliant. Because, you got Happy Hogan in the Iron Man movies, and it's kind of a little bit of humor there,
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he was fighting the one guy
and then,
in the hallway at Iron Man 2,
yeah,
and then he
she's
stopped
fighting
and
everybody.
Black Widow took out the whole, 13 people, and he had just a one.
And he's struggling to fight that one guy. Yeah, exactly, like that.
Those kinds of comedic moments with him. It was funny in Deadpool versus Wolverine, too.
Oh, yeah.
He was like Avengers adjacent, like.
I had that kind of situation too. You're talking about with Gene Hackman. So Richard Dreyfuss was like when I was a kid. Like, I loved Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I loved Jaws. I loved basically everything he was in. And when I first started doing this, I was in the grand jury of this show called Shots Fired up in North Carolina.
Okay.
And it's a show. It's kind of like a show of like, they had the cops pull over the black guys, and they do this thing where the people get shot, which is Black Lives Matter. It's a real thing.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's not. But in the movie, though, the show, they reverse that. They have a black cop and a white person in a car who gets shot. And so the whole story is about this small southern town where this thing happens. And Richard Dreyfuss is like this town booster. He's like this, man of like the founding father of the town. And he ends up getting embroiled in this controversy. And there's a scene where he's facing the grand jury about his involvement in this shooting. And I'm on the grand jury, and I'm like, in proximity to this guy who I loved when I was a kid. And I'm just like, watching him work, I'm like, man, this guy's so good. He's such a professional.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's like one of the last things I've seen him do in a while, because he's, up there, and he hasn't done as much lately. He was Bernie Madoff, I think. He was in that.
Okay, got you. Every time I hear him talk, though,
just
take me back to Stand By Me.
Yeah.
Take me right back.
Absolutely.
His voice, I mean, not so much like in Jaws. He's playing a character where his voice is a lot higher, but when he talks normal, like, I couldn't watch Mr. Holland's Opus. I couldn't watch anything that he's been in where he has to carry a serious tone.
Yeah.
When he's Close Encounters, when he's like manic, Richard Dreyfuss, it doesn't sound the same. But when he's calm, it's like, God dang, all I can see is that movie. All I can see is that
and that's one of those masterpieces of Stephen King. It's not exactly horror, but it is certainly, a contender for the Great American. I mean, it's not a novel; it was a novella. It was different seasons,
right? But
it's one of the best things he's ever done. Like Shawshank Redemption is another good one,
right?
The Green Mile is another great one like that.
When you find those things,
right?
What was the other one? Hearts of Atlantis or whatever? No,
I haven't seen that, but that's a great book though.
But that's every now and again when they step away from the horror thing, because he was a horror writer, and then once they caught on that his horror movies were big bucks, they were doing as many of them as they can. But then when they kind of said, he has this other stuff too,
right?
And they started doing movies based on that, and it was really, I think, Rob Reiner who kind of introduced us to that. He's like, there's other things that are really awesome, and of course he named his whole production company after it,
Yeah.
But he was just like, we don't have to only have horror, you know? And then he started getting some of those works that are just like, wow, when
Yeah.
you realize that's Stephen King too. I guess he doesn't just write stuff that gives you nightmares or stuff that makes you think for 7 days. He writes some really interesting tales too. That Green Mile, that was wild.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how much I liked that movie, and I was surprised at how much I still love Shawshank. You know, for the fact that it was him. You know, you could have fooled me. Could have fooled me all day.
Yeah.
But also the Richard Bachman thing. My wife was a big fan, and she introduced me to those works, Regulators and Thinner and all that stuff.
Thinner was good.
And I had no idea about that. His desire to find out if it was his name that was selling books or if it was his writing that was selling books.
Right. Yes.
You know?
Yeah, I think it was his agent said that you have too much out there as Stephen King and you'll be oversaturated. He's like, well, I have other books I've written and I want to get them out there. He's like, well, you know, maybe you could do like a pseudonym.
Pseudonym.
Yeah.
Pen name.
I almost said pseudonym. That was not right. But yeah, and so he gives the Richard Bachman books. But I'm really looking forward to The Long Walk.
I just saw the preview for that. I just saw the preview, and for something he wrote in 73 or something. It's an old story. And like everybody was like wondering when it was going to happen. Now, no offense to Doog.
There's a whole story behind that, though.
No offense to Doogie. No offense to Mike.
Right.
Mike Flanagan and we knew each other back in the day.
Did you?
Yeah.
I have a question I was going to ask you about that, but not because I knew him. I just wanted to know your opinion. But go ahead.
I'm happy to see a Stephen King work that isn't directed by him. I have trouble watching the Stephen King thing. She wants to watch him because she's a big fan. It's hard for me to separate knowing the guy behind the camera.
Yeah.
It's like when you watch a production that you've been in.
Right.
Same as me. It's kind of hard to like enjoy it as a work.
Yeah.
You kind of go, oh, I remember that day and I remember that.
Right. Yeah.
And then, but if you know the person
know the lore
too,
behind
you're
it,
kind of like, what was he thinking, or why would he have done that? And so, yeah, the way that I know Mike, let's see. I don't want anything of this. Okay.
Full disclaimer.
We graduated, not he. My girlfriend at the time and I graduated Glen Burnie High School along with a friend of ours, Dave. When they went to Towson University, at that time it was called Towson State.
Okay.
When they went to Towson State, she had a roommate. I forget what her name is, but Dave wound up rooming with this kid, Mike, who was from Archbishop Spalding. They all called him Doogie because when he was young, he looked like Doogie Howser. And so got to know Mike through Dave, and he was an aspiring filmmaker. And the thing was instantly was in love with this kid, and it was obvious. Now, we're 18.
Gotcha.
So every time I would tell a joke, Mike would laugh.
Okay.
She didn't. Every time Mike would tell a joke, she would laugh. And even as I did. So it was like this kid was like everything to her.
Okay.
So she and I break up because we're teenagers. It's
right.
It's the way it goes. I mean, God,
right.
You know. You ever seen, I always love the ending of hold on 1 second. I want to put that, blank the screen out. I always love the ending of Not Another Teen Movie.
Yeah.
Where they just call the fact that this is never going to work.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, you're going to go to college and I'm going to get drunk at a party and, you know, all that stuff, have sex with a girl.
Yeah.
So it wasn't going to work out. It never would work out in a million years. So that's not the issue. But the thing that I'm most upset about is the fact that I really liked the guy.
Right.
He and I would run into each other years later at a bar in Towson. And it was my birthday and he bought me a shot and we sat there and we talked for like hours. And I would have befriended this kid. I would know him to this day. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
But we had this thing, this
right. I get that.
Love triangle, if you can even call it that, which I don't think you can.
It's weirdly sexual tension because it's about a girl.
About a girl.
Right.
And he goes, that night I was doing comedy and he goes, hey, you have a show next weekend? And I said, I do. And he's like, dang it. He's like, cause I'd give you and your wife, cause she met him too. Said, I'd give you and your wife 2 tickets to one of my short films. It's going to be at the Senator. Mm-hmm. And it was Oculus.
Yeah.
Which was a short film first.
Right. And
so I remember years later seeing the commercial on TV for Oculus. And I thought, did someone rip off his work? You know?
I know that name. Wait a
And
minute.
then I turn around and I wait till the next time it comes on TV, and I eagle eye the fine print. And it said written and directed by Mike Flanagan. I'm like, are you serious?
Yeah.
And then it just never stopped.
Yeah.
The guy is like Netflix's like, you know,
Yeah.
Netflix's man, you know?
Right.
But Blumhouse discovered him, and then he was just like Netflix everything.
Yeah.
And I can't bring myself to watch any of the stuff. And that's the thing, is I feel bad because I like him. I really do.
Right.
I like the guy a lot.
Yeah.
But I just can't.
So, well, I was thinking on the way over here, and this is not necessarily for the conversation, but I just had this thought. I'm not sure who I prefer more to interpret Stephen King or adapt Stephen King, Mike Flanagan or Jack Bender, because he did Under the Dome, he did Mr. Mercedes, and he's known for Lost and a couple episodes of Game of Thrones. Then Mike Flanagan has almost full run of Stephen King titles.
Stephen King likes him, from what I understand.
But I don't remember who did The Outsider. I don't know if that was Jack Bender or somebody else, but The Outsider is probably the most critically acclaimed television adaptation he's had recently.
Right.
Right, because it was really done really well. I think it was actually somebody else who known for doing procedural, so it wasn't either of those two guys. But I like Mike Flanagan's other non-Stephen King stuff. Like, I really enjoyed Midnight Mass. That was great.
Yeah. Haunted of Hill House, Haunted of Blind Manor.
That was, Haunted of Hill House was like, will wreck you.
I also am jealous as shit because
right.
his relationship with Henry Thomas pisses me
off. Yeah.
My damn childhood right there.
Yeah.
The way he blew the dust off of some of our favorite actors from back in the day.
Yeah.
That's what I'm more pissed off about. Forget the girl. Forget the past.
Yeah.
He's got so many people in these things that I'm like, man, I love that person, you know?
Yeah. And
jerk.
So,
I'm just joking.
And here's the thing, too. So if you go back to that time and you guys were teenagers, and let's say you confronted Mike about your girl and like, hey, you don't make my girlfriend laugh at your jokes, and like say you'd punched him, Timeline would have had him doing rom-coms now to make up for that. I
know, right?
Yeah. You'd been president, and he'd be
everything
doing.
ends with me being president.
Yeah, he'd be doing rom-coms.
Every timeline, I'm president. I like that.
Yeah, and then he'd be doing rom-coms and be like going, "Oh, he's the next Love Actually" or something like that, some nonsense.
Yeah, I'll take her name out of that whole thing, but yeah, that's the past with that, and like I said, I mean, I wish him all the success in the world.
Absolutely.
I have zero issue.
He's already had it, so you don't have to really wish it to him.
No, I'm saying, but I wish him even more, you know? I mean,
yeah.
But we know you got to get on out of here. You got some stuff you got to do today.
Yes.
And I got some podcasts to record with the missus and with the daughter for our Patreon.
Cool.
Want to be in this frame, want to hear those podcasts, please. Patreon.com/Snackin Yakkin is where you will find those. The tier to listen to those podcasts, $5 a month. $5 a month, you get 2 bonus podcasts weekly. So there's 8 extra podcasts besides this one that you will get for $5 a month. That's a deal, Lane?
It's a deal.
That's what I'm saying. That is a deal. But everybody who comes on my show, well, not everybody, some people forget, but that's okay. Rossi Brown remembered after the fact that he brought me this.
Shout out to Rossi.
It's
behind you.
Right here.
Blue Streak.
There it is. He brought me this VHS copy of Blue Streak, which is awesome because I told him, I said, I think the last time I saw Blue Streak, I rented it from this place. So that's pretty funny. But they bring me stuff for the set, and you were actually spending a lot of time during setup guessing what everybody had brought me so far.
I think I'm 1 for 3 on my guesses, which I don't know what it says about me or it says about our friends in the comedy community.
It's okay. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. But you brought me something.
I did. I brought a book that I wrote 10 years ago called With Half Closed Eyes, Politics of Punk by Lane Lovegrove. And it's a book about politics and social issues and how it relates to punk rock and the punk rock movements.
So who's on the cover?
So that is, I don't remember the name of the guy, but that's from the band Young and Barren out of Charlotte. And I picked that picture because it has a little anarchy patch and a little straight edge. Yeah. So it's a little bit inclusive of what the ideology, it's about punk rock ideology.
Right.
And it's a Kindle Direct book, so it's like cheaply published, self-published, that kind of thing.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, but it's a bunch of interviews with my favorite punk rockers when I grew up with, because I'm a big punk guy, and we talked about before the show started about being the punk scene in Charleston, and honestly, the punk scenes and the comedy scenes, the DIY comedy scenes, are so similar that some of the playing politics between the two of them, you can kind of like, as long as you're somebody who is, positive and helpful and, can be creative and you're not a total douchebag, then you can definitely, make inroads and be part of the scene and do creative stuff. But yeah, so I wrote that book. I have another book I wrote recently that's not quite finished yet. about summer camp, and it's a mystery called the Camp Foxwood Cipher. That's also on my Kindle Direct too.
I had written that thing about Cipher Falls.
Yeah.
I came up with an idea for that too. Wonder what that's about, man. I do like ciphers. I love ciphers.
Yeah,
that's because I was the Zodiac killer. Nobody knew that. No, I'm just joking.
Yeah,
I love ciphers though.
The Zodiac unaliver.
Well, no, that's a person. That's a moniker.
Yeah.
So I think we can get away with that one.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna get demonetized for that one.
It's got to be capital K.
But I love this. Agent Orange.
Yep.
Ministry.
Yep.
The Bouncing Souls, the interviews you give, I know them. I don't know the casualties on the swing, and I just Barbed Wire Dolls. I think I heard of, but definitely Ministry. Oh, Anti-Scene, yes. I've heard of them. Like, man, that's wild.
I used to be a photographer for Anti-Scene because I used to live in Charlotte, and like whenever the guys would need stuff photographed, I'd photograph things for them because they're from Charlotte and they're real down to earth guys.
Do you have this available like in the Kindle space, like in the?
Yep, Kindle Direct and Kindle self-published.
Because I mean, I would hate to just stick this on my thing and never get a chance to read it.
Yeah, you can read it.
Okay, I love your headshot back here.
Yeah,
no gray.
Back in the day.
No gray back in the day. It's a way to zoom in, but we could put it on the screen, but I'll spare you.
Yeah.
But I do like it a lot, man.
Yeah, man.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and I was a labor of love. I did that when I was still at Winthrop, when I was involved in political science,
This is 10 years ago, you said?
Yeah, 10 years ago. Yep.
That's cool.
So it's out there. I still owe my my crowdfunding supporters a copy because life kind of got in the way, and we actually my editor unalived themselves after I wrote it, and so that kind of put a hard stop on it for a long time.
Yeah.
But they had a lot going on, obviously, and so I got the book finished and it's out there, and I had some other things I do for my perks. But don't never have a 10-year unfinished Kickstarter. That's like an albatross around your neck, and so I got to get those out to everybody, and the other perks are gonna come with it. But that was back when Kickstarter was brand new, and no one really knew what to expect out of it.
Right.
But the interviews are great. Bands would come to town. I'd interview them. I set up the interviews, and
that's so cool.
It's a lot of really cool stuff in there. I mean, I'm kind of proud of that.
I do like that your cover is much like a CD.
Yeah.
Much like the album covers of that time.
Yeah, that was
no need for name, no need for album title, picture.
Yeah.
I like especially in the DIY, in the in the bootleg or make your own, recorded off the board at a gig album. That was the way you did it. You just a photo on the front, and I like that. That's very reminiscent of the CDs I remember. Yeah,
that's kind of an homage to that too, because there's a little bit of music history in there, but it's more current events. And this is 10 years ago. This is before Obama was president back then. It's before Biden, before Trump. And I'm thinking about if I should do a second edition where I make it more modernized and talk about things that happened. But so much has happened in 10 years. That's like, how do I encompass all that into this book, or do I just forget about it and move on to other things?
It's a good question.
Yeah.
I mean, or do you go see what punk scene is left and what they think about the current state?
Yeah.
I mean, because we saw, we went and did punk. What's the one we went to, the music hall? Punk Saves Lives? No. Punk Rock Saves Lives. So we got to see a bunch of groups in that. And that was fun. She goes, I want to go down there. The mosh pit had started.
Yeah.
She goes, I want to go down there. And I'm like, no. She's like, I want to go down there so bad. I'm like, no. And she's like, why not? I'm like, because you're 50.
What was your first concert? Your first punk concert?
Social Distortion.
At Club Dog Alley?
Yep.
Gangrene?
Yep.
And I was at that show. My first one, too.
That was the first show I ever went to, and it was the first time I ever went to a show completely drunk and still got in.
Nice. Yeah, I was 13, I think, when I went to that show. And I had a little pocket knife in my pocket, and they patted everyone down before we walked in. Because that was when punk rock was still dangerous. And you can't go to a show without getting stabbed. And
meanwhile, all the safety pins in my jacket.
Yeah,
that's not going to be a problem.
And I remember I knew some of the guys that were in the band Crouch Rot. That were kind of like the big Charleston punk band. And they were around, and we were talking to them and stuff. And my friend Dusty Johnson and I were there, and we ended up they had a little restaurant in the back, like a little soup kitchen kind of thing, in the back of Club Dog Alley. And they were like, hey, we have some items on our menu, but we need copies of the menu to show people. Can you guys run down to Kinko's around the corner? Here's like $20, make a bunch of copies for us. And so we're like, okay, sure. We're like little kids. I made the copies for their menu, and they're like, here's food. And they gave us a bowl of chicken and broccoli soup, which has been the best chicken and broccoli soup I've ever had in my entire life.
Nice.
And that's my first memory of, and then other than that, that experience, being on stage and like getting crowded and kind of lost in the show and turning around. And next thing you know, you turn around and you're on stage with the band because it's such a small venue.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, what is this? This is crazy. And so I was hooked.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Good
we were at the same
times.
show.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
see, look at that.
And one more thing, I bought a T-shirt from that show, and I had that T-shirt. It was too small for me because being a big guy, things shrink really fast. And I held it for years, and I gave it to my daughter. And she's
Aw.
13. She's wearing it now.
Nice.
And it fits her great because she's a tiny child.
Well,
Yeah.
Bridget, she'll inherit all of your clothes.
You'll take my shirts from me when I die.
Nah, I'll sneak them to her little by little.
Yeah.
She does this Marie Kondo thing. Yeah, I mean, remember that?
Spark
Where
joy.
it's
Yeah.
lightening the load, or
Yeah.
if it doesn't bring you joy, she goes, we need to do this. I go through all of my clothes. I get rid of probably half of my wardrobe.
Yeah.
I said, your turn. Not a thing. The closet is still as full as it ever was of her stuff. And meanwhile, my stuff is like 3 shirts, a suit jacket that doesn't fit anymore, and a pink tie. It's just like there's nothing on my side of the closet anymore. I got rid of so much stuff, but I'm accumulating more stuff because I have a show and I like to not repeat things, so I get to buy shirts all the time now, which is really fun.
That was her attempt to get you to open the closet up for her stuff to move over.
That's it.
That's right.
That's it.
Yeah.
I know.
Wily
I know.
ways. We know about that.
So in an alternate universe, you guys might have dated and I became president.
Yeah.
Like we always, that's the way it's always got to end. In an
Yeah.
alternate universe,
Yeah, that branching timeline.
right, in that branching
Yeah.
timeline, she married so-and-so, you married so-and-so, you guys
Yeah.
had a dual wedding, and I became president.
Yeah.
And no matter what it is, you guys became arsonist, burned that club to the ground, and I became president.
No, 'cause
yeah, it
later-
turned to the treehouse, which was like a little
Yeah,
dance. Like it
the
was in the-
treehouse is
She
what it
actually
became.
has a flyer. I've seen the thing. What do you have from the treehouse? Flyers
and
yeah, I've seen the artwork and the
Yeah.
stuff on the bottom and everything like that. So I know of that place because of like memorabilia she has and stuff like that. And she went from the punk thing to a major Jump Little Children friend and fan.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
that's a good segue. I like Jump Little Children. I never knew them personally because I wasn't living here anymore. I'd moved away when they
Yeah,
were
we do.
going through. Yeah,
We do. They're good guys.
yeah. But I like their ethos and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, but
Um,
then I got to meet them when they had this reunion thing.
Yeah.
And that was cool. They took me in real fast. Particularly Evan Bivens and I. We hit
Yep.
it off
You
famously.
Guys, you
Yeah.
guys are like
Yeah.
peanut butter and jelly,
Yeah, man. You couldn't peel us apart half the time after the show. We're going back and forth. And we're talking about because he's into graphic art and I have a comic strip that I do for EMS. And oh man, so what program do you use? And then they needed stickers. They needed the new Jumpin' Bobby or whatever for their stickers and their T-shirts. So I did a Photoshop and I created them the new thing for the screens. And he's like, "Thanks for that." So he and I it was so quick. I just never knew, how I would hit it off with any of them. Ward and I are pretty funny too.
Oh yes.
Yeah, Ward Williams and I
Yeah.
we're pretty close too. But yeah, they were good guys. I like Charleston, but we were talking about it with Annie, with you. It's like, man, it used to be so much cooler. Can we get any of that back?
well, we could, and in a lot of ways, it is being cooler because Wits End is a cool thing. I mean, it is a cool spot. It's really the barriers to entry to be a comedian there are very low. As long as you show up and you put in the work and you're not a douchebag like people we've talked about earlier today. Edit that out. But if you're just a decent guy and you do good things, it's very easy. And anyone can put on a show. I mean, just like a punk show back in the day, you could get the space, get flyers for it, put it on. People show up if they're cool about it. It's just that there's a lot of, and whenever money gets involved in stuff, it tends to get less cool and more lowest common denominator.
It's your corporate versus punk.
Right,
It's
exactly.
basically it when things get corporate.
Yeah, we used to go to shows at the Ladson Homewreckers Club.
Homemakers Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I used to put those on.
Nice.
Yeah.
I saw Lifetime there.
I did the flyer for that show.
Yes. I still have it somewhere.
I have the cutout that I made for the show that I did that. We did a show. It was like Ass Factor 4, Lifetime, and Voice was my buddies from Somerville, and all the shows there. Because Renee Dantzler used to put those on.
Yes.
Yeah, Renee and I were
Yes.
friends. She's very conservative now. She is very...
That's a strange turn.
Yeah, she's very... I mean, she's cool. Renee, hi, I still love you. You're awesome. but she is a normie now, air quotes. Just a very normal person.
That's
We've hung
nice.
out before. We
I
had
know
to.
we have.
Yeah.
We have to have.
Yeah. What was your favorite Lads and Homemakers Club show?
Oh no, that like Lifetime was the be all end all for
Okay.
me there. I
Yeah.
was just like, this is the greatest thing that's ever happened, and I paid a can of soup to get in.
Yeah, because we would take collections for homeless shelters.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the John Cale show. He'd put that on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because at that time, like that's how you paid to get into these shows.
Yeah, or
because
$5. Yeah,
we were punk. We didn't have money, but
Yep.
we had cans of soup at home.
exactly. Yeah.
Right.
So
Take it out of their cupboard and bring it down. I remember, we had a thing called the PPT, People for Punker Tomorrow, was the group that we would do to facilitate those shows, and it was very inspired by like the Berkeley, California, like punk scene, like like the Maximum Rock and Roll,
Oh, yeah.
very lefty punk scene, and PPT put on shows there, and I had a band called Outpatient, and yeah, and we were one of the Somerville bands. We never played there because we only played like 4 shows. But there was bands like the Muckrakers were bands
Oh,
from around.
yeah.
Yeah, those guys were great from that time period in Charleston. But yeah, the Knights of Homemakers Club was awesome. I remember we had the guys from Lethal Injection, which was a Somerville like metal band, and they played and they trashed the place.
Oh, yeah.
And they
Yeah.
broke the windows out, and we're like, what the fuck, dude? That's like our venue. Why are you being dicks?
right.
And then Johnny Puke's band, Cletus played there.
Oh,
We
yeah.
did that show.
Yep.
That was Johnny. Shout out Johnny Puke. He's the Charleston dude.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's like old school punk
Yeah.
royalty now.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, he and I went to Vegas together years ago for punk rock
Oh, punk
bowling
rock
because he
bowling.
was on Jersey Beat, the fanzines team, and I got to meet.
Is that where I saw everybody in the pool? There's a picture that
Him and
your friend
Tia.
shared of everybody
Yeah.
in the pool
Yeah.
at Punk Rock Bowling.
Yeah, I was a photographer for their team and for shooting, and so I like if you do like a deep dive on my photography, it's a bunch of shots from that punk rock bowling, and that was like 10 years ago too. I haven't done anything cool in the last 10 years.
Well, you know what?
Everything was post divorce. I'm free now. I can do whatever I want to. That means fly to Vegas with a camera. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get something back, man. Come on. I mean, we know all the people, man. Let's get something going on again, for
Yeah.
God's sake.
Well, I mean, I guess it's starting. I mean, I'm sure there's still bands that do things. It is being an old man. I'm
Well,
not sure
yeah,
how to tap into
but
that.
is there a way to combine the comedy with the music in a way that nobody's doing, because nobody's really doing that.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I mean, because I did the van fundraiser for the Defilers at Madra, or no, the Mill. And so when I did that, I did comedy up front, and then I introduced them. They played a set, and then I did an auction,
Mhm.
and I raised them enough money to buy a whole new van. And they were just like, "Holy crap!" They were like, "Thank you," because their van blew up.
Well, the Rossi Brown thing, then that's pretty
Yeah.
DIY punk rock.
Yep.
The community reaching out.
That
He's
was.
Yeah.
He did so good too.
Yeah.
I mean, you should have seen it.
He's awesome.
He headlined the thing, and yeah, I mean, you have a lot of people in the crowd who know why we're here and they know him and all that stuff, but still, he followed behind 6 acts or something like
Mhm.
that, and he went up there and was just absolutely brilliant. I was grinning from ear to ear. I said, "Man, you did so good." And they were like, "Well," I mean, even Keith D was like, "The crowd was very generous." I said, "Don't
I like
sell
Keith.
yourself short." I
Yeah.
said, "Everybody did good." I said, "But give it up for Rossi to follow all of you, and wasn't shook for a second, wasn't thinking. He just went up there and did what he knew how to do
Yep.
and did his material, and it hit hard, and it was so great. Nobody was I know what a charity laugh sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know what a guffaw for a young upstart little comic sounds like. I know what they are. There was none of that. It was genuine laughter at genuinely well written. He has very smart, well written material, and it's very funny because he's self-deprecating in a way that just isn't the norm. He talked about his mom talking about, or no, he said, I found out I was adopted, and he goes through this whole entire thing of just like how terrible it was. And he goes, and I was like, "Mom, why are you saying all of that?" Like, he turns it around that his mom is just berating the shit out of him. And it's so good, like I'm butchering his material, but he just does such a great job at that
Yeah.
stuff. And I was so proud of him. And here's the thing. I'm honest with everybody. If I like you, I mean, period. I let you know. And I mean, look, he came by on a day that he wasn't even on, I mean,
Yeah.
like he just, I will have him on time and again, man. I love you guys. I think this scene could be something really great. We just have
Yeah.
to make sure that we understand everybody can have a piece of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Nobody's stepping on anybody's toes. Nobody's trying to bring down the establishment. We all just want to have a piece of it. Some people do comedy here. Some people do comedy there. So, Brandon's carved his lane with the American Legions and stuff like that, and veteran shows. And, Tony Kemp's back on the scene. I'm working for him. He was back in the days of the comedy zones, comedy zones.
Yeah.
So he's back doing promotions, and I work for him from time to time. And so, let's all just, let's all just get along and play nice.
Right.
So I think what's going to happen here is we're going to end this episode just because, but then we're going to continue talking about the punk scene and this scene and that scene and the comedy scene because
part 2. No, there's no part 2.
Yeah. Lane and I, we found out we have a lot more in common with the wife that I share with his past. That sounds a lot worse, but it's true.
Yeah.
But anyway, so please find him on Instagram, find him on Facebook.
Yes.
His game show,
the Epic Game Show Experience on Meeting Street.
There you go. Please go out and see that. And also, I have all the links down the bottom. If you look down on the screen right here, there's his social media. There's the game show social media and website to find him on and all that stuff.
I'm big on Instagram, Facebook.
I'm going to be there because I wanted to be Bob Barker as a kid and that dream. I want to see you live my dream, then be jealous and seethe a little bit and then let it go because that's what I've got to learn to do. I love your socks.
Thanks, man. I like yours too,
we never even mentioned your socks this whole time.
They are robots.
I could never do what he just did.
They are robots with heart-ons. They have little hearts on their bellies. I had a bunch of jokes about robot sex and AI sex, but we never got to it. That's fine because at the end of the show.
Next time. Next time, we'll start off with the punk rock thing, and then we'll go into robot sex and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, this was Lane Lovegrove.
Hi.
Thank you so much for snacking and yakking with us. We're going to get out of here, but I can't speak for him, but I can speak for me when I say, I love you.
I love you too.
There you go. I knew I could speak. I knew he loved
it.
you.
Like in the intro, when we hit it, and it was hit. Hitting was happening.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hit it.
We
out. Bye. Hey, everyone. Would you like to be one of those photos you saw in the frame behind me on the show? Or one of these names that is scrolling up the screen right now? Maybe you'd like to listen to a weekly bonus podcast with me and my daughter. Or another weekly bonus podcast with my wife and I. Well, you'll find all of this and more at patreon.com/Snackin Yakkin. Memberships start at just $5 and every penny helps all of these shows go, go, go. So thank you in advance for your support. And now, click one of these 2 videos here. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because we are so far from done doing some